guys, welcome to Custom Reactions once again. Thank you so much for always liking and sharing, subscribing. Yes, it's a very, very great Tuesday evening. Yes, and it's a great time to have Big Lala right here today to talk about the one and only WIZKID. Yes, Big Wiz in the building today. Man is smashing a lot of records. Is going on a lot of cities in the US, touring, and of course all the whole ladies seem to be whole ha 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 ha. But today, yes, we are not talking about Essence. We're not talking about the deluxe album. We're talking about the Made in Lagos album. The original one dropped, in November. Yes, November 2020, October 29 actually. I think so. Yeah, 2020. Yes. WIZKID did a madness with that one. A lot of songs on the album, at the start, went on BillBoard, and he was doing a lot of numbers and everything. Now, there's an existing record which Fela and Nicola Pokuti had for a long time. Okay. In 2010, over 11 years ago right now, Fela's The Best of the Black President peaked at number 3 and spent 45 weeks on the chart, on the BillBoard chart. Now, that was an African record for an African artist. A lot of people felt, oh, you know what? Let's see if WIZKID is going to, do it with Made in Lagos. At the time, WIZKID was on 10 weeks or 20 weeks, 30 weeks, and everything. We felt, is this guy going to actually match Fela's record? Boy, he did actually. Yeah. Because right now, WIZKID's Made in Lagos has spent 45 weeks. Fela's album picked at number 3. His own picked at number 1. Yeah. And there's been a lot of talks if WIZKID at this moment can actually break the record. Is WIZKID capable of breaking the record?
Of course, no, it's not going to disappear off the charts
anytime soon.
Yeah, anytime soon. Obviously, I think it's going to break that record, and that's a good thing for Wiz. Picked at number 1. Yeah, that's also an interesting thing to note. The stream of Made in Lagos seems like it's not going down anytime soon. We're still seeing more and more people jump on Essence, and the album is still doing really good.
Very well.
So I think it will probably go over 50 weeks.
When this album dropped last year, and a lot of people were talking about and everything, did you ever think it was going to be getting all of this records? Not to even talk of BillBoard, top albums and everything.
No, I didn't see this coming at all, and I don't think anyone particularly saw it coming, because the whole.
Not even WIZKID.
I don't think he did. Because he didn't release the album 45 weeks ago. Now, did he? Abi? Oh, yeah. How many weeks ago was that?
Yeah. That's almost. Yeah. I think what happened was, I think after the release of the album, that was it. Like the next week or the week of the release.
Yeah, it came, and then it now came back. There was a strong moment that it now came back and started chatting, and then it started doing really well, really well on the chat. So I never foresaw this was going to happen. I'm going to be honest. And I don't think there's any one of our viewers who foresaw that was going to be. But if you did, please let us know in the comments. We know whether we can come and read my future for me. So yeah, but it's a good thing that happened. It's very, very massive. Congratulations to WIZKID.
What does this mean for Starboy?
It means a lot. I mean, this is been on this Made in Lagos album has been a roller coaster of a ride for Wiz. It's the heights it's reached. It's heights Wiz has never reached before. Songs off it are also reaching heights that any WIZKID song has never reached before. Yeah. So it means that he's unlocked again a newer level. He's setting a higher standard for every other person to follow, and that's the amazing thing about it.
WIZKID actually, like we said before, took a couple of years to release this album. Yeah. And are we going to say he knew what he was doing as at that time? I mean, you took all the years and everything. Yeah, for taking about 6 years to drop this album. Are we going to say, oh, so WIZKID actually cooked Fela Echo cook? Did he? Because if this album had not gone this way, are we going to say, oh, you know what? After all the years and everything, so this is what he came to give us?
But I don't think it was a situation of Fela Echo cook, because like I said on the previous episode, Wiz had said he had changed the lineup of Made in Lagos several times. Yeah. He also said that, I mean, although he did mark that this is going to be a very, very good album after sounds from the other side. He said it when the interview is right there. Him talking about the one after made sounds from the other side.
Yeah, it's mad one. Yeah.
So if anybody says he foresaw it, they will have a point because there's facts to back it up. I mean, there's clips to back it up of him bigging up the album way before it even came out. Dropped, so I mean, to an extent, if anyone says I wouldn't argue it, argue it. But then again, I don't think he was working on that album for 6 straight years. Fine, recording of the song, picking up the songs. I think he was just doing his mixing and matching until he finally settled on one that fit the agenda of what he wanted to portray. But I don't think he still portrayed what Made in Lagos is meant to be, but it still portrayed something. There was a theme for that album, and he followed it through, and the end result is what we're seeing today.
Anyways, yes, the end result is what we're seeing today. I'm not one to actually start bigging up, artists against each other and everything. We know Fela and Anukulako Kuti was a major force. Even WIZKID looks up to Fela.
Yes.
On Snapchat, he calls himself young Fela and all of that. In trying not to pit anybody against anyone, a lot of comparisons have happened between WIZKID and Fela. But let's even leave that aside. Can we say with this whole BillBoard thing right now, what Essence has achieved and all of that?
Yeah.
Can we say WIZKID is the greatest of his own generation?
He didn't have to take bringing Fela into the picture to proclaim or say that WIZ is the greatest of generation. Who? If it's not WIZ, who is it? Who is it? I mean, we've said several here that WIZ has set standards from his younger days, from times he came up. He set standards for other people to follow. He set templates for other young artists. I mean, to attempt to want to blow in the market. Several young artists sounding like WIZ. Several young artists look up to WIZ. Several young and even old artists respect WIZ. So of his generation, of course, his generation, I think he's the only one that stands out the most. Not saying there are not other people who have done quite a bit to support. I mean, even pushed WIZ himself to
where he is today.
Push WIZ to strive to be better than what he is previously. I mean, you have to mention those guys because the competition, although he might say, there's no competition, he's only better than himself before, blah blah blah. But trust me, if somebody else is doing something that you have done before and even doing it better, it motivates you to want to do more. And that's what has led WIZ to where he is right now. Now he's at that level that no one else has been. Other people also have to strive to catch up to where WIZ is or even do better than it.
As we go, BillBoard record number 45 weeks on the BillBoard record for Made in Lagos and everything. If WIZKID gets to spend, like you said, maybe 50 weeks or something, are we going to have another Nigerian artist do this ahead of WIZKID?
Of course not. We never say never. Never say never. It's product of the times. That Fela record was when? Was it 2010? 2010. And we're in 2021, right? Yeah. It took 11 years for someone to do it. Of course, there's going to be some other new artist or some other young generation of artists that will come on board.
Another 10 years or more than?
It can be less. You never know. Before Fela, I'm pretty sure there was somebody else at one point. I think Sonny Ade or thereabout also had a number of time he spent on the BillBoard. Yes. So without a doubt, somebody else will come around and would smash this.
Anyways, let's give it up for WIZKID, Big Wiz doing big things at the moment. Essence is on tour. I mean, there's a whole lot going around WIZKID at the moment, and of course, this one is the recent one. 45 weeks on the BillBoard albums chart, doing really, really well. Picked at number 1, and there's a whole lot that we can continue to say about WIZKID. But of course, right now, all we have to say is congrats to WIZKID on this very, very major one. Guys, let's have your thoughts on that one. Can another Nigerian artist do this one, or we're gonna have this record for a very long time? But WIZKID right now, the information, the news is WIZKID has just matched Fela Kuti's record. Is he going to break it? Big Lala thinks yes, he's going to break it. Do you think he's going to break it? And do you think another artist can break WIZKID's record? Whatever weeks he gets to. Let's have your thoughts. Put them down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.